I'll be talking about the concept of speed to value, which is the number one thing that every entrepreneur needs to be thinking about in today's AI-first world. Let's get into it. So this is something I speak about with my team all the time. And it's especially true since the advent of AI, ChatGPT and all these AI assistants. But it was the case even before. Now, the concept is that it used to take time to complete anything that was of value. So the longer something took, the more valuable it was, right? And that's why when you go to an agency of some sort or a consultant or different kind of services, and this is on the service side of things, right? It would take a certain amount of time to complete, and the longer it took, the more it would cost. Well, since AI has come onto the scene, most of the things that would take a long time to complete can now be done pretty much instantly, right? And so the concept which I've been speaking about with my team is this concept of speed to value. And for every entrepreneur, when they're starting a new venture and when they're starting a new business, as long as they're not selling a physical product, this is some type of information service or a service of some sort, a consultancy, some kind of agency, some kind of service, speed to value is everything, right? And so what does that mean? Let's take the Webprofits agency as the example, right? So as an agency, we get paid from other businesses to produce a result, right? And to increase sales, increase leads, increase the performance of a campaign, right? Now, historically, that would take time. It would take time to create all of the assets and the strategies and the plans and the emails and campaign setups and all these different things, right? Which required people that were smart, who knew what they were doing, put the time into it. Now with AI, pretty much everybody can create a full marketing campaign by just asking ChatGPT. It's pretty average, right? But they can still do it. So what that's done immediately is it's lifted the standard of average, right? Because ChatGPT is essentially the average of all of the information out there. But how you use ChatGPT can push you to stand out from the crowd. But everybody can make a banner now. Everybody can make an email sequence. Everybody can make a strategy now. Everybody can do a series of posts on LinkedIn in a minute through ChatGPT. So if that's the case, where is the value? And this is the concept of speed to value, right? And it's understanding where the value is. So for us, the value is being able to hit more success than failure, right? So it's our ability to leverage the tools to get to the point of success faster than anyone else, right? That's the value. Now, if that's the value, how fast can we get there? And what are the things that we can put into place to get there faster? This is the concept of speed to value. Now, if I can build a landing page in an hour and get it live, and it takes you 6 weeks, even if I'm not as good as you, right? And I am, but even if I'm not, right? The fact that I have taken something live in an hour means it can go to market, I can experiment, and I can get the result. But that's not where the value is. The value is actually just being able to launch something that works. So how do you create a system that can get to the point that something produces value just for a customer immediately that has the highest chance of success of performing? Speed to value, right? In fact, I tell my team all the time, the longer something takes, the less it's worth, because you obviously don't know what you're talking about and you don't know what to do to get there faster, right? If you did know what you were talking about, you could get there faster. And now with all of the tools with AI assistance, agentic kind of workflows, and I'll talk about some of these things in future episodes, make sure to hit subscribe. But with all these different things, the only thing that that has done is made this concept of speed to value even more important. Because why would I go to an agency that's just average if I can just go to ChatGPT and ask it for a strategy for my company, for a set of assets for Meta, for like an email sequence across all my flows, right? Across content just for SEO. I can do all that in 10 minutes, but stuff has no value anymore. This is the other thing, right? Speed to value is understanding what has value and what does not have value, right? And I tell you what does not have value: stuff. Yes, assets. Yeah. So pretty much anybody now can go to ChatGPT and say, "Hey, I want you to make me a banner, for this kind of business that says this in it." And it's not perfect, but I can get a banner in about a minute, right? Or I want an email sequence that will do that will be for the onboarding thing. Yeah. So say, for example, it's a welcome flow, or it's an abandoned or it's an abandoned cart flow, or something like that. I can just go and I can just ask in one simple question, "Hey, make me an abandoned cart flow." Boom, done. So everybody can do that. It has no value anymore. The value is in success, right? So speed to value means the faster something is, the more valuable it is, but fast needs to be linked to success, to performance, to solving the problem, because everybody can make everything now pretty quickly, right? But most of the things that people are going to make aren't going to work, right? Because everybody can make them. And the concept is, if everybody can make them, then how do you stand out, right? Standing out is where speed to value comes into it, right? So my advice, if you're selling a service, a consultancy, or something that's not a physical product, right? And we could talk about kind of physical products in the future, right? But for a service, for information, for things which would have taken you time before, now think about, how do you create systems, processes, prompts, strategies, right? And workflows that leverage AI to produce value for client, or for a set of clients, right? Then that's the business. That's the focus, right? All you need to do is to solve one thing much better than anyone else, and solve it quickly, efficiently, and to provide an excellent customer experience. And if you can do those things, you don't need many of them, right? In fact, the more things that you try to solve, the harder it is to solve them, because each of those requires customers and marketing and sales and all these different things, right? So what you need is one core service that adds extreme value extremely quickly, and that's how you go to market, right? That's speed to value. So again, to summarize, the shorter or the faster something is, as long as it's good, the more valuable it is. The longer something takes, the less valuable it is. And stuff has no value anymore. The only thing that has value is things that work and things that solve problems. I hope you enjoyed this episode of A Day in the Life of an Entrepreneur. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, because I'm going to keep sharing insights and thoughts and concepts like this. See you in the next video.